Welcome to Into the Night. I'm Nari, your guide on today's excursion down a twisted path. Be careful not to get lost. Be it dark or light, it's easy to lose your way. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Greener Pastures, Part 2. As time passed, the workers finished the repairs, and she unpacked boxes one by one to make the house feel a little more comfortable. Between lesson planning and grading papers, turning the house into a home was slow going. Each night she spent time on her porch, listening to the tinkling of the wind chimes. The wind chimes soothed her nerves as she glided back and forth on the front porch swing. Leaning her head back, she could almost fall asleep listening to the melody of her beloved chimes. At around 9 o'clock each evening, however, she became keenly aware of the darkness. The utter stillness of the town turned the black velvet of the night into an oppressive weight she felt she must escape by going inside. A shudder ran over Meg, and she rubbed her arms with her hands, trying to shake the feeling that someone was watching her. Slipping into the house, she turned on the lamp in the living room. Stacks of boxes still littered the rooms, and Meg sighed looking at them. She climbed into bed, turned off the light, and fell into a deep sleep. At around 1 o'clock in the morning, a strange sound woke her. Exhausted, she closed her eyes once more, but the strange sound pulsated outside her bedroom window. Her bleary mind struggled to make sense of what she heard. Meg peeked through the curtains, but the town seemed as quiet as always. Only the unsettling noise and the barely noticeable blinking of lights in the distance seemed out of the ordinary. She couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. She stood watching out the window, searching her mind to make sense of what she heard. After several minutes, she glanced at her phone. With that, she crawled back into bed, happy to have Charlie's company. He snuggled against her, purring, but he too seemed alarmed by the sounds outside. His green eyes stared at the window before finally lowering his head onto the comforter and settled down to sleep. Meg laid her hand on his back. "It's a good thing you aren't outside with whatever this is. I'll keep you safe." The next morning, she hit the snooze on her alarm a few too many times and panicked when she realized how late it was. Damn! The last thing I need is to be late today. I have morning duty. Look out, Charlie! Meg tossed the comforter off her, half covering the yawning cat. She threw on clothes, ran the brush through her hair, dabbed some mascara onto her eyelashes, and tore out the door. The rush to get to work caused her to forget the strange events of the night before, and the hectic day ahead left her no time to think about whom or what made the unusual sounds in the darkest hours. Once she left work that afternoon, Hal stopped her in the hallway. "Can I speak with you in my office?" Meg followed him inside. "Shut the door." Meg quietly closed the door behind her and sat in the chair across from Hal's desk. "What do you need to see me about? I'm sorry we haven't gotten to visit much since the school year started." Hal cleared his throat. "This isn't a social call, Meg. It seems some concerns have come to the school board's attention." "Concerns? About what? My grades are up to date, and I haven't had any behavior problems." "Is it true you've made students buy copies of your book?" "No. Why would you think that?" Meg wrinkled her brow and tilted her head. "You don't think I have, do you?" "I don't know what to think. Mrs. Chastain, the board president, is especially troubled that you have bragged to students that you are a celebrity around here. This is a small town, and they don't take kindly to an outsider coming in with a superiority complex. Mrs. Wainwright has heard the same rumors." "Wait just a minute, Hal. You're the one who introduced me to the whole faculty as the newest local celebrity. If that has been repeated, it didn't come from me." Hal shifted in his chair. Well, yes, I did say that, but I didn't say it to students. You need to make sure any of that talk stops in your classroom. It's easy to stop because I haven't said it in the first place. I'm just saying the board is concerned, and you need to make sure this doesn't become a problem. I'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. He rose and walked her out of his office. Stunned, she walked down the empty hallway toward the doors. Waves of queasiness washed over her, and in a daze, she walked to her car and drove home. Turning into her driveway, she saw Charlie eagerly waiting for her on the windowsill. As she came to the doorway, Charlie greeted her. Hey, boy. It sure is good to see you. Tonight, we are just going to relax and watch some TV. No grading papers. I've had enough school for one day. Just you and me on the couch. The sweet orange tomcat meowed in response, and Meg whipped up a quick dinner. Changing into pajamas, she settled onto the couch and flipped through the channels until she found a movie to take her mind off the day's strange events. When the show ended, she could barely keep her eyes open. Turning off the television, she staggered into bed for the night. She drifted off to sleep. The tinkling of wind chimes made her think of her grandmother. Exhaustion quickly overtook her, though, and she fell into a deep sleep. Her dreams were interrupted by the same pulsating sound from the night before. At first, her mind didn't recognize what disturbed her sleep, but as she quietly listened in the dark, she heard the unmistakable sounds of voices in the distance. Rising from her bed, she drew back the curtains and watched a circle of glowing lights sway in the farm field just beyond the town. Mesmerized, she felt drawn to the rhythmic sound and pulsating lights. Frozen in her tracks, she watched the lights and found herself swaying to the enchanting music. She longed to be a part of a circle. No longer afraid of it like she was the night before, she was now drawn to the sound. Charlie twitched his tail nervously as he watched his owner transfixed at the window. His meows were ignored as she stared out the window and swayed. After an hour of watching the mesmerizing lights, Meg realized she'd been at the window for a while. Chilled, she slipped back under the blankets and fell asleep once more. The next morning, she didn't remember the lights or the music and rushed off for work, arriving at the school early for once. She smiled when she saw Shannon Pratt motion her into her room. Hey, what's up? I wanted to talk with you privately. Shannon shut her classroom door. It's about something I heard at the basketball game last night. About me? Yeah. There's a small group of catty women in this town who like to stir up trouble. They're proud of it. The cold stab of dread came over Meg. What are they saying about me? They're mad that you're an outsider and that you think you are better than the people here. That's ridiculous. I've kept a low profile. I want to be a part of this town. They just have to let me in. I'm not sure that's what you want, Meg. Be careful what you wish for. What do you mean? Oh, nothing. I just want you to know that some people are gunning for you. They mentioned talking to Mrs. Chastain, you know, the president of the school board. I vaguely know who she is. Short, older, dark hair. Doesn't her husband own the pharmacy? That's the one. She has way more power in this town than I think she should, but for some reason, everyone does what she says. If she decides to get rid of you, I'm afraid she will. Tears brimmed in Meg's eyes. I need this job. I can't lose it. I know. I debated whether or not I should say anything, but I thought you should know that people are talking. Mr. Larson called me into his office yesterday after work and told me there had been complaints. I guess that's where they're coming from. Who are these women saying these things? You wouldn't know them. I don't think you even have any of their kids in class. They are just the mean girls of Greenfield, from what Christy told me, and they delight in making people miserable. The bell rang. Thanks for letting me know, Shannon. I needed the heads up. It's okay. That's what friends are for. We'd better get going, though, so no one notices we were talking. With that, Meg slipped out of the science lab and made her way down the hallway. Thank you for joining me for Into the Night, an anthology series written by Caroline Giammanco, narration and sound design by Nari Kwak, theme music by Nico Rodriguez. All original music and editing in part provided by Flyboy Entertainment. You can find our links in the show notes. Please remember to like and subscribe, and if you enjoy what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review to help other excursionists to join us. You can find us on your favorite podcast directory. See you next time. And remember, whether in the shadows or in the daylight, all twisted paths take you into the night. Into the Night is a Creative Typo Entertainment production.